That's true.
No,
And
the
we
other.
have Burmese for Max, and we have the Magyars for Licks, and this is a situation where I think Burmese can shine. Max has every counter available. Well, actually, you know what? It depends, because remember, the Arambai, it's very difficult to get to the Arambai, and the benefit of going with Burmese is that the Man-at-Arms would have +1 attack, but the Scouts have +1 attack for Licks, so it really depends how this one pans out.
And Arambai don't do that well against Cav Archers if your micro is on point.
Exactly, as long as you're not Doubt and
Yeah.
fighting Onagers. But anyway, we're not going to talk about Doubt here. We're going to talk about Max and Licks. Oh, I didn't update the score. I'm sorry, guys. I'll do that for you. And let's talk about the maps once again. I will start with Max. Max needs to win this game, otherwise he's out. And it's unfortunate that these two got paired up together, but it just goes to show how important seeding was for this tournament. Both players are kind of in the middle, and arguably they're better. Max choosing the backwood line. He does have nice placement for his gold and his stone. That is behind his town center. He could wall that in, but overall the map won't be very easy to wall because of the openness of it and the hills. So my guess is Max will go Man-at-Arms. He loves them as it is, so this map would be a good map to be aggressive on. What do you think about Lix's map, Dave?
I love the backwood for him. It's really safe.
Yep.
In addition to the berries, but once again, another area of his map that has gold and stone in the same location and right near that hill too. So they're not too far away, but if Max gets control of that hill, it would be big trouble for Elix.
Yeah, last time Lix did have multiple wood lines to go to, but they could all be ranged by towers. So he was able to stop that. But this time, Lix doesn't have the safe gold, and he doesn't really have the safe stone because it's all on the front, and there's a hill here. This would be a perfect base for Max to do exactly what he tried last time, to go Man-at-Arms and towers. If he is able to secure this hill, that's going to force Lix way out to the left side for that extra stone, and that's not going to be easy, and that's something Max could spot. So, again, it's very important for both players that they scout this, because otherwise they're not going to know what strategies they should do. As for Lix, traditionally, you've seen the Scout Rush, and the Scout Rush can be weak to the Man-at-Arms and Towers. So we'll see what he chooses to do. He started with 3 on wood, and he's luring in the deer for extra food, so I believe he's going to try and go Scouts at least.
He's spending a lot of time luring in those deer, man.
Yep. Well, I think if he gets one more, it's well worth the time. If it goes back again, it is past 5 minutes, and he's at 16 pop, and normally you click up at 21 or 22, so he needs to get over there to figure out what his opponent's going to be doing. The deer kind of... It went back around the stone earlier, which is unfortunate, but yeah, he's going to get this deer, and this is probably the time to go scout your opponent then. He's going to have no problems making scouts if he chooses to do that. So what's Max up to? Oh, he has 3 on wood.
Deer.
The other thing about... Oh, this is interesting, Dave. So Max is pushing deer. Burmese they can see all the relics on the map. Now, if you look at that one relic to the left of Lix's base, and you just look at what Max can see, if I were Max, I would assume that Lix was to the right, and not to the north. I guess the northeast. What about you? Do you think you would guess that area, or would you guess where Lix is actually at?
Why would you guess that area?
Well, normally the relics aren't close to players. So the space is to the right, not to the north. Normally the relics are in neutral areas. I think that one relic could deceive Max a little bit, and he might not go the right way. He's going to the north. We'll see.
Like, if you look at the biggest gap there, it's at the north. So I don't know. It's kind of... I love the fact that they can see the relics. It's played into a couple games that I've watched where they see like an army go past a relic and they know the composition. But this early in the game, I think Max is just going to be super greedy and pushing as many deer as he can.
Yeah, greed can be a bad thing, though. but maybe he does expect
He's
the
walling up,
scouts
dude.
and yeah.
Look at his walls. Redonk. Forward walls.
And speaking of scouting, we mentioned it when Lix was luring in the deer. Lix does not see the relics, and he is unable to find Max right now, so he still could think Max is to the left, but he hasn't found him yet, and when he does, he's going to find walls. However, this scout could kill the wall villager, and that's exactly where Lix is going right now. This is going to be perfect timing. Okay, another vill coming out for Max, but it's going to be 3+3 on that scout cavalry soon. Wow, and kind of a late, I guess it's not a late barracks for Max, seeing as he went up later, but I guess a later up time for him. Lots of resources in the bank, and I guess he's going scouts, no man at arms. And he went exactly where I said. I feel like such a pro now. Max is looking in the wrong area.
He went like, you said he was in the right corner.
This is not the corner, but where Max is right now. There were two areas, and the other area is going to be to the left, but Max is going to be late.
Fine, don't worry about it.
Fine. Fine, T90's right for once. And I think that influenced where he built his military buildings, too. If he would have known Lix was to the north, he would have built his military buildings in front of his mill. That's my guess.
Dude, he's gonna wall up this entire base within the next couple minutes. And scouts coming out for him. So he's chosen not to go for the Burmese infantry. Or is that Magyars or is that Burmese?
It's Magyars gets the +1 attack on all units. Oh, there's a hole, by the way, between the stable and the house for Lix. And then the Burmese get it on the infantry. So both players would have that bonus. It's just now you're fighting someone who has a stronger scout rush. But honestly, both players are going to full wall anyway. Both players playing it incredibly safe. And there's the fix of the hole for Lix. Now, there's still a lot to happen here in Feudal, guys, but thinking about the Castle Age, Burmese do get access to camels, right? So that's one thing they'll have an edge on. It might force Lix into Cav Archers instead of the Knights. Let me make sure I'm not wrong on that, because I get a couple of civs. Oh, they don't get camels. I'm sorry. They're one of the new civs that don't get camels. So that'll make them weaker, I think, because the Knights will be stronger.
Okay, and, so engagement, bad position.
Yeah, bad. More units for Lix, and Lix has the extra attack. Forward spear for Max. Lix just going to run right by. Okay, so the one good thing for Max, he does have the stone and gold safe. So if he stays walled up, and has a similar castle time, he could go for the Arambai. I almost feel like he has to go Arambai. Otherwise, Lix is going to have the edge with the unit composition available to him.
There's also Max's base is completely walled up, but like you said, the +1 attack on those scouts with the hill bonus, like if he attacks one of these walls, he could be in pretty quickly, actually.
Yep, and normally as a player, you are used to the same time frames. So if someone's attacking a wall, you think you have X amount of time in your head. Luckily, Max was running out there, and Max is taking this opportunity to counter and doing nothing with it. And here we go, Lix.
Get out of there!
Another free shot.
Yeah, I don't think the scouts really, on Max's end, I don't think the scouts really matter at this point.
I agree.
He's full walled. It's just a distraction to keep Lix from pressuring his base. For Lix, maybe the scouts come into play later as he gets the upgrades for them, and he can use them later in the game. But for Max, I think they're just a delaying tactic at the.
Yeah, Lix is playing it safe. Both players playing it safe with walls, but Lix had a few more spears than I would have expected. Max creating a new scout and losing that immediately outside of his stable. This is a player who has been great this series, but Lix has just been slightly better, and Max needs a victory. He cannot take a loss here.
Max is going for a market.
It's strange how common that has been in the new meta. I don't understand it because players would never go for markets before. I still haven't quite figured it out because this still hurts, but he just wants to rush his castle time, and I guess he will sell some resources for gold. Yeah, he just sold some of his stone. Interesting.
I have a theory about the market, and we've got
Okay.
time, so I'm going to expand upon this. Do you think, now this is just me spitballing here. Do you think that the market players are using it more often because you're more likely to tech switch into something different and not stay with the same unit line?
I think before, that's actually a really good theory. I think before you didn't see players going for the market because it was an expense and they were going for units that weren't as overpowered as they, well, not overpowered, but powerful as they are now. And so basically you can justify hurting your economy a little bit to go for some of these units. And
Oh god, that sucks so much. Please wall in your villagers, Max. Wall them in. Oh god,
neither
lick
player
season.
realizes. Neither player realizes. So yeah, this is awful for Max. I don't know what he's doing going forward with a blacksmith and 2 villagers, but he's gonna lose them. I just think that because the unit compositions are stronger now, you can justify, like, if you don't use the market, you're gonna have a little bit less of an attack with those strong units and you'll fall behind, so it's just worth it. But I like your theory too, because you're gonna see a lot more tech switches.
I think it might just all the factors might just add together.
Yeah.
Like, you know me, I make a market. If I don't have a market, I'm a dead fish. Like, I'm just floating belly up in the water.
Dave's strategy is fast feudal and market heavy on gold and buy everything you need.
So I agree. And Max is sending 2 more villagers out. He wanted 2 villagers out there somewhere. He's sending them again.
Oh man. Oh, where did he send them? Why cannot on the right side?
On the right side. All the way around.
Oh, it's so weird from Max. What is his plan? Still one town center, not adding a second one. He sees the cavalry archers for the first time. Maybe he wanted a siege workshop on that hill, but that opportunity is closed, and Lick's keeping these scouts alive. I assume he's going to scout the whole map and patrol around. And I'm still perplexed. I don't know what Max is doing with these vills. It had to be for a siege workshop, right?
I don't know. He's just gonna be in very dangerous territory with these cav archers roaming around.
Well, he's making knights, and he does have the second town center. He can't go for the third because he sold his stone earlier. He's building...
Monastery.
Is he gonna... He's gonna go siege monk, isn't he? Wow, this guy... this guy is incredibly stubborn, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, monastery techs cost 50% less for Burmese, so maybe this is all part of the plan. It's been stalled a lot, but...
Like, do you just
who
send your
knows?
knights forward to that push and ignore the cav archers for now and keep walling up behind them?
I think you need to delay with the knights for now, and that's why he's getting upgrades, because you need 5-6 monks and some siege to be able to really scare your opponent. You can't send 1 or 2 monks and 1 Maganel. I think he's just going to delay. And meanwhile, Lix has full attack upgrades and using the scouts nicely. Full defense on these knights and not enough cav archers, so Lix is running away. I'll tell you what, man. If he can do something with this, this will be an awesome game. Because Lix, there's no way Lix is expecting this. No way. Lix has the advantage with the early TCs. He's massing the cavalry archers, which will eventually beat these knights. Max is just going to delay as much as possible and go siege monk out of nowhere. Alright. Just a few knights left for Max. He's gonna need to create a few more or go for a defensive siege workshop, and that he has done. I want this to work so bad.
I know. And he should, yeah, he's doing it now. He's going to send the knights over to that push. And Lix is going to be paranoid on the front side. He won't go too far in because he'll be afraid that knights will come behind him.
Now, if you were Lix and you wanted to build a safe second town center and you already have your wood saturated, wouldn't you build it out next to that gold?
Oh, 2 onagers or 2 mangonels?
Oh, he's not expecting this. There's no way he's expecting it. Luckily for Licks, he's only losing 2. But this is a Palisade Gate. There's 2 monks, and the Palisade Gate will drop in 2 shots. So Licks did not have time to know this was coming, and now he needs a response. This is awesome.
He's sending his other Cav Archers back. Max has got to be careful here. If he loses these Mangonels and these monks, the push is dead.
Yeah, this is an all-in push. Both players actually level on Vills, which is a surprising thing. Max does have knights that have 10+2, so they'll kill the Mangonels a lot faster. However, the monks could get conversions as well. Or not. Did I say Max has the knights with 10+2? I meant Licks. I forget. So there's the 3rd town center for Licks. And he's tempted to go in against 3 Mangonels. But Licks is running very close here. He could kill the monks. This is incredible micro. But will the Cav Archers stay alive? No, they won't. They will not stay alive. Now, still, Max's push was significantly slowed down. And I think this last Mangonel will drop. But that was an amazing cleanup on those Cav Archers.
I don't even know who got the better engagement there. Another Siege Workshop coming up from Max, and Mangonel coming out. Licks has to start producing military faster.
I think Licks came out on top because with the Siege Monk push, you need to keep your mass, and you can't create them as fast as Cavalry Archers. This is just buying Licks some time. I could be wrong there, but I think that Licks killing, 5 monks and 3 Mangonels is better than Max killing 15 to 20 Cav Archers. But it's all very close still.
Usually when you're doing a Siege Monk push, you have less villagers than your opponent, and Max has more somehow. I don't know how he does it.
That's true. You know what? He's going to a 3rd town center too, so this is not necessarily an all-in. Still has safe stone if he needs it. And Licks is just going to push out.
Yeah, but he's going to have to come back.
Is he going to come back, or is he going to risk the biscuit and send the Cav Archers forward? He can range the wood line. He can kill his own Vills, but I think defense is still the best move for Licks.
He's going to run into that Mangonel, man. He's getting hit now.
Luckily, he's on the hill. He had time to run away. He lost 2 Cav Archers, killed 2 Vills. I think that's worth it for Licks. Now, 3 Mangonels for Max, attacking this town center. Licks has tech switched into Pikemen, which is a pretty impressive idea, because the only thing besides Mangonels and monks that's threatening him are the knights. He will instead add some Pikemen. Pikemen could still die to the Mangonels depending on how the attack goes. And oh, look at the Cav Archers looping around behind from Licks. He might try and get the monks behind the Mangonels. That's 5 Mangonels, though, Dave. 5 Mangonels.
And remember earlier in the game and Redemption coming in from the Max as well. He anticipates the Mangonels from Licks. Remember earlier in the game when you said it's good that Licks has a safe wood line and it's not forward? Well, not anymore.
Yep. Yeah, that's what can happen in this game. Now, Redemption just completing. Yeah, Max sees it, obviously, because he pulled his Mangonels away. Can he get a conversion, and will Licks be able to do anything with his Cavalry Archers? Oh, geez. Max losing 2 of his monks. I don't know what happened there. Cavalry Archers are going down, but the Pikemen are pushing in. That TC is still being repaired. Another Mangonel down for Max. It's so hard to call, man. Oh, Licks losing his Cav Archers again. Max taking the score lead. Such a crazy game.
What a great engagement. Every single unit on the board here. And it's just like you can micro to an extent, but if you're against 5 Mangonels, eventually you're going to get hit. And that's what's happening.
And Max is at 81, 82 villagers versus 74.
Even Scorpions.
I love the Scorpion edition. I was just going to say Pikemen have there's no counter for Pikemen. But you know what? Licks might have the TC up, but he's had idle villagers. And he also can't take his main gold safely. He also can't take the gold next to Max's Siege Workshop. This might be the game-winning decision from Max to go for this. He's going for more town centers at home, Dave. It's just a matter of time till he goes heavy on that stone. gets a castle up, and goes for the Arambai.
I mean, Licks, if you're against this, you always assume the person going for Audit or Mangonel Monks has less villagers and a worse economy. And it's just not true.
1 for 1 with the Mangonels. Still surprised that Max isn't using his monks versus the siege, but you got to keep in mind, guys, he has 4 to 5 town centers at home and is focusing on microing this, so these are human beings. Will Max be able to kill the cavalry archers again? He did, and honestly, he will clean all of this up with the scorpions behind, killing the pikemen. Another great Max engagement.
And more stables coming up from him, foraging coming in as well, so is he going to pressure this? Is he going to all-in Castle Age this? Probably. Another 4 stables coming up at the front of his base.
Wow, that's not what I was expecting. That's probably not what Lix was expecting. And for the majority of the game, Lix has just been fighting Mangonels, monks, and a few knights. Soon, we're going to have a ton of knights flooding into his base. And Max is the economy. I think that Max can win the game if he goes all in castle.
All he has to do is cut off that wood line at the front, and then Lix has no options. If he hits that wood line where Lix has like 30 villagers, it's done.
And there's really nothing Lix can do to attack this right now. He could go for his own Mangonel and try and chip away, but he could lose that to monks, and Max has so many that I don't think it really matters. Max losing a scorpion, and he's also losing the Mangonel, but there's a conversion, and we could get a free shot here. 1 villager down with the Mangonel that shouldn't even be his. Max is going to just bring the Mangonel back to his main force, try and get a few more conversions, and get some kills.
Look at Max's res right now. He could just pump knights from all those stables, which he's doing.
Yep. And when he does, I think Lix is a goner. He's been repairing this TC for so long, it might finally go down. And he's running forward, which is exactly where Max is going to go with his knights.
And the forward siege workshop from Lix is a bit ambitious, I have to say, near the stables from the Max. Maybe a bit too ambitious.
All right, Lix is like, it's time to counter, guys. It's time to counter. We're behind. Let's go build the siege workshop. Oh no, what is this? There's knights everywhere. Incredible game from Max. This surely is the GG now. Is Lix going to continue to play? I don't see how he can come back from this.
+2 knights? No. They're just going to sit under all this arrow fire, kill as many villagers as they can, and still on the north side, Max is pushing in. He has the hill there now, too, and he's going to isolate all of these farms. What an amazing performance from Max.
That's the first time I've seen a siege monk push in the new balance. I love this player so much. This is why I fanboy over him. He's so solid in team games. He never plays 1v1s. We rarely see him play 1v1s. And here he is against one of the best Chinese players in the world, one of the top 10 in the world, and Max showing that he deserves to be talked about with the very best. And we're going to see a game 5 here.
Wow, that is not what you expect when you see the Burmese. You do not on Arabia, you do not expect the Knight Siege Monk push.
The crazy thing is that he lost his 2 forward villagers. So normally the Siege Monk push takes a while to get going, and still he sent 2 more vills. He had a game plan, he stuck to it, and somehow he was able to pull it off. That was an incredible display of pressure from Max, and also he was booming too. Like you said, Dave, normally that's a 1 TC thing. That's not common. All right, here are the achievements. Yeah, the market. It could have been the market. I didn't see how much he was using it. Here's the units killed, Max with a crazy kill death ratio. Also 10 conversions. A lot of healing with the monks, of course. More of everything except stone collected. The Vilhai. Max just showing his strength in the 1v1s. And now it's 2-2. And we are going to see game 5. And that means the civs, because they only have 1 left, is going to be Mayans for Max and Indians for Lix.
So advantage Max, right? If he goes